Hello.
Hello. Hello. Can you see? All right, good. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Who Moved My Eyebrows Go? Okay, my name is HoeCheong and he is Stanley. Stanley, yes, all right. Okay, so we are doing this Facebook Live about this Who Moved My Eyebrows Go? Eyebrows Go is something that all the Singaporeans are very familiar with. We always go out and look out for our iron rice bowl. 中文讲铁饭碗。Right now, okay. So, all right, we are here tonight.
Yola. It's back.
Yep. Okay, great. This is this. Very good. Okay, thank you for your patience and thank you for waiting for us while we sort out the forever, very ever-changing internet connection. Alright. So yes, hi. Good evening again. My name is HoeCheong.
I'm Stanley. Hi.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome to our Who Moved My Eyebrows Go. Okay. As I was saying, all right. Eyebrows Go is a very familiar term with a lot of our fellow Singaporeans. All right. Yes, we are FB live streaming from Singapore. All right. So all the Singaporeans are always looking out for their eyebrows go. Right. In Chinese, we call it the 铁饭碗. Oh yeah, correct. So we want to talk about 铁饭碗. You know, especially in the middle of this pandemic, it seems like a lot of people's eyebrows bowl was moved. Whether they know it or they did not know it, whether they were prepared or they did not prepare. So we are going to talk about this idea about who moved my eyebrows bowl. But before we go into that actual topic, Stanley has something to say. Stanley?
Right. Our show is actually inspired by this book. I think this book is called Who Moved My
Cheese. Yes.
It's written by this Dr. Spencer Johnson.
Yeah.
He's a doctor. So this is actually
somehow a medical doctor actually.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's not a doctor of philosophy. He's actually a medical doctor. Which is very interesting, right?
Yeah, I read about him.
Yeah. For a medical doctor to write a motivational business book is quite amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is actually an international bestseller, which was, I think, published
1998.
20 years ago.
1998.
1998, yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
23. 23 years.
Yeah, so this book is actually a short story,
Yeah.
which you can actually finish it within 1 hour.
Yeah.
But the story
And
and
the book is very thin. It's very thin. You can see, and the words are very big. Only one thing is no picture only.
yeah. There is picture.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Some pictures. Some
So
people.
this book is actually written for all ages. So kids, adults, whatever your age is suitable for you to read.
Yeah.
So this book is very interesting.
Yeah.
So it actually have some inspiring ideas and insights which actually will be useful to everyone.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, we draw our inspiration from this book to actually create our content called "Who Moved My School." Right. So yeah, you can Google about this book. You can actually even download it, or you want to buy it from Amazon. Alright, it's a very good book. But this is American, Amor's idea. Okay. So today we are going to give you Singapore local context, right?
Yes.
So, but before we go and present the whole thing, we would like to show you a short clip
About this book.
Yeah. All right. To save you some time, if not you say I never read the book, I don't know what you're talking about. So we cannot do this kind of thing. So we rather you see the video and actually understand some overview about what this book all about. Is it okay? So without letting you wait any further, okay? Bear with us, watch the video and stay tuned until we come back, okay? Don't watch the video and trouble, okay? Alright, okay, let's watch the video, yes.
Who Moved My Cheese is about dealing with change in your work and in your life. Cheese being a metaphor for what you want in life. Everyone has their own idea what cheese means to them, and we go after it because it makes us happy. The maze in the story represents where you look for your cheese, or happiness. Your cheese is always changing, and you should not get comfortable in relying on your cheese to always be how or where you left it. In doing so will help you deal with change and bring you greater success, no matter how you define success for yourself. The 4 characters in the story represent parts of us, and it's up to you to identify which parts you are now and which you would rather be from now on. There's 2 mice who don't overthink everything and just get on with life. Sniff constantly sniffs out the change and is ready for it. Scurry goes into action immediately without needing to know all the information. Then there's 2 little people, really smart people who've done well for themselves so far. Hem, he likes to stay in a safe, familiar territory. And Haw, who's slow to adapt to change but is open-minded. Sniff and Scurry go out and seek new cheese every day. Hem and Haw comfortably rely on their past knowledge and experience and assure themselves the cheese will be right where they left it. Hem and Haw even moved their house closer to their cheese and built a social life around it. They became so comfortable they didn't even notice what was happening. Sniff and Scurry noticed the cheese was diminishing and that one day it wasn't there. But they were not surprised. They were prepared and knew what to do. The situation had changed, so they decided to change. They sniffed and scurried in search of new cheese. Hem and Haw had not been paying attention to the changes. They took it for granted and were unprepared. How could this have happened, they thought? Nobody warned them. They wanted to believe somebody moved their cheese and didn't want to believe that they had failed to notice it getting smaller and smaller every day. Hem's complicated brain and deep belief system demanded to know why this had been done to him. While Hem and Haw were busy worrying about what happened to them, Sniff and Scurry were already out finding new cheese in uncharted territory, and it didn't take long before they found new cheese and started enjoying life again. Hem and Haw remained bitter and angry about not having their old cheese, complaining how life was unfair to them. They got used to being comfortable and were now afraid to go find new cheese. They got stuck in a habit of doing the same things over and over again and wondering why things didn't get better. Eventually, Haw realized the cheese was never coming back and may have to face his fears and go find new cheese. Finally stopped blaming others and took responsibility for himself. After all, it is safer to search in the maze than remain in a cheeseless situation. As Haw enjoyed his newfound cheese, he reflected on past mistakes and realized nothing got better until he changed. He didn't like it at the time, but the change was a blessing in disguise. Hem was too stubborn, or proud, or just simply unwilling to change. Nobody knows what became of Hem. Move with the cheese.
Hello, yeah. I think everybody will enjoy the short clip, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Why enjoy? Because no need to read the book. Please, this book is so thin already. What I was saying, it's so
You
thin.
actually can finish it within 1 hour.
Yeah. I tell you, maybe go toilet, come out, already finish. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed with the what call that, the clip.
Yeah.
All right, and then actually, Stanley is our MC for the evening.
Alright.
So over to you, okay?
Alright.
Yeah, Stanley.
So, how do you find the short clip, the story? Isn't it interesting and enlightening?
Yeah.
And then the two things that
I
most is the cheese and the maize, right?
Yes.
So the cheese in the story is a metaphor for what you actually want to have in your life.
Yeah.
Right? It could be your health, your job, a good relationship, money, maybe a house, right?
Yep.
Then the maize represents where you actually intend to find your cheese, right? So it could be your company, it could be your workplace, it could be
Your own company,
Yeah.
your own
Your
business,
family,
yeah. Or
So-
your hobby, yes.
correct. So it is represent an environment whereby you actually went out there to pursue and find your cheese,
Yeah.
right? So don't you find the 4 characters in the story very interesting?
And somewhat, you may have some feel about it. Some people may have some feel over some characters.
In fact, personally, I actually feel that different stage of my life, I'm actually, the 4 characters actually represent different stage of my
So
life.
old again.
Not that young.
Okay.
Yeah, old enough to have beard.
Yeah. Next year I will have my first beer.
Yeah. So next year I kill you for beer.
Okay. Alright.
So in the story there's these 4 characters: SCURRY, SNIFF, SCURRY, Ham and Haw, right?
Yeah.
So the 2 mice and the 2 little people. So each of them have their own character. I think you actually watch it in the clip. So now we are actually inviting 4 of our friends.
Yep.
Right? Each of them will be role playing into these 4 characters. So the first character that we're going to introduce will
They
be
are not going to role play because they are just going to inject their local experiences
pardon me.
based on the peculiar characteristics of the particular character.
Sorry, pardon me.
Yeah.
Sorry for correcting.
If you want Jerell to role play, also can.
Let's make sure
Okay,
I bring
so-
him a costume.
Yeah, so who will go first?
Steve will go first, right?
Okay.
So, the person that is going to actually inject the idea about Steve will be Mr. Jerell Chan, right? So maybe let's zoom into him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe over to him to introduce this, talk about this character.
Hello everyone. Hi, my name is Jerell, and I am so-called role-playing the character of SNIFF.
I want to role play.
Of this particular book by Dr. Spencer Johnson, who wrote my cheese. So basically, in a very concise and short summary of SNIFF is that these little mice always sniff out opportunity before everybody is aware of the changes. So this is a very opportunistic mice. And then I think I like this character very much because Dr. Spencer Johnson chose mice. To me, for a reason is that mice probably has a very good image per se among the Westerners maybe.
Is it?
Yeah,
Mickey
because
Mouse, Mickey Mouse,
yes, we have
yeah.
Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Speedy Gonzales, Mighty Mouse, right? Wow. And then of course my favorite, Tom and Jerry. But all these characters, you see, they are very witty, right? They are very hardworking. They have their own instinct for opportunity and stuff like that. So when I read this book, actually I like it very much because this is what is really I do feel about with this particular mice. Yeah, because I have a very short lifespan, as in I'm not dying yet.
The mouse lah.
But honestly, I mean, like just now, the two gentlemen up there have been saying that different stage of life, you may have different career, different goal, and then in the book, these cheese represent a lot of things, which can be your career, your marriage, your life, your friends, etc., etc. And then at different stage, you may feel that you have a change of perception for all these cheese, right? Like probably when you're growing up, you want to go to a good school. And then when you want to go to a good school, then how are you going to achieve to do that? Like say maybe attending more lessons or mixing with the right friends. And then when you go for your career, you want to choose, oh, should I go to this industry or that industry? Or what interests you? And then if you want to go to this particular industry, you need to know what to study or what kind of internship you must go through, etc. So for me, when I read this book, I feel that I'm very much like SNIFF, because I'm always wanting to improve my current status. Not that only that I want to improve, also because I am afraid of losing what I already have. So I can identify strongly with this character SNIFF, because this
Very
character
strong sense of crisis.
awareness.
Strong awareness for crisis.
Awareness in Hokkien is kia kia, you know, a bit scared.
Okay,
Always
okay.
looking for opportunity. So this is the character SNIFF, and then probably I can pass it back to our MC.
Okay, thank you.
So Sniffy is somebody who is like he say kia si one lah, kia one lah. Always in Chinese we call what call that? 居安思危. Forever you know on the lookout. Right?
I think he is the one that always look up for lobang.
Oh yeah.
So I think he will know that what is the latest opportunity out there.
So compared to Sniffy, the other mouse is SCURRY, right?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between SCURRY and Sniffy then? Action oriented.
Action.
We always run.
What? So just now you said one of the mouse character, what?
Speedy Gonzalez.
Speedy Gonzalez. Okay, good. So why don't we ask
Mexican mouse.
our SCURRY now to talk about his character? What do you think? Okay, so ask who?
We ask our Mr. Sky Lau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Sky, over to you.
Hello. 大家好。
好。讲华语的。
呀。
哦 ，OK， good。
新加坡都是双语的嘛，讲完英语就讲华语了。抓紧讲抓紧。
OK，
SCURRY 叫做吓死你。
是啊。我读完这本书了，我最喜欢的角色就是这个 SCURRY。其中呢几个SCURRY 的个性就好像刚才 Jerell 有分享的，就是他的警觉性很高，然后呢，他很容易去接受那个外面的那些改变的一些状况，而且他很快就能 adapt， 这个是我最喜欢的就好像说如果当一个环境开始产生变化的时候，我们最怕的就是自己不能适应。如果可以适应的话，其实就不会太过的担心跟害怕。而整本故事书里面可以看到的就是这个 SCURRY 一警觉到旁边的那些趋势开始有减少的现象的时候呢，其实他马上呢就付诸于行动，马上就跑去找新的趋势，这个是我最喜欢的。就好像我们做生意的我们每一次都这样，当有一个状况发生的时候，我们每一次都马上要想说到底有什么后备，然后到底有什么 backup plan 来应对这种突发的状况这个是我最喜欢 SCURRY 的地方，因为它就好像我听过的一句话，就是说打铁趁热，然后要马上行动。这个就是 SCURRY 我最喜欢他的角色，他的个性的这个部分，就是打铁趁热，马上行动。
所以你就觉得这个很棒，就对了嘛。
我喜欢，我喜欢。
你知道这本书多好吗？Stanley，do you know how good this book is? Do you know how good this book is? 你知不知道？我跟你讲哦，南天大哥是不读英文书的，竟然可以把这本书读完，你就知道 how easy reading it is， 对吧？对啊，
原来是这样。
Yeah，of course 啊，谁都可以看的，而且很快就看完了，对不对
？PSLE 有 pass 的都会看。
啊，哇，对，这个话讲得太好了，只要 PSLE 有 pass 都可以看 ，OK？Yeah， so actually you realize that like what the Jerell and Sky has mentioned about this SCURRY and this SNIFF, right? They are by nature they are what? They are mice. Yes. Alright, so they are more alert than usual, even though they are in a very comfortable environment with a big pile of cheese. From the day one, they already realize that they already have this premonition that one day the cheese can finish up one. This is very amazing actually for myself because I you know why a lot of people once they get into a place that they are very comfortable with, instead of developing a sense of crisis, most people develop a comfort zone, thinking that this comfort zone will be evergreen, everlasting. I think this is a very common perception most people have. So in this book, you know, using the mice, SCURRY and SNIFF, it actually allows us to reflect upon, you know, give us a very contrasting perception, you know, what you know, how we should actually view our current state. Correct? What do you think?
I think you're right.
Hey, you must talk a bit more. I thought until I
Okay, I think for the mice, right? I think they are very action oriented. They are always looking out for opportunity. I think in our so-called human context, it will be like there are people who actually focus on things that are right in front of them, and there are people who actually look at the bigger picture.
Yep.
So I think for the mice, right, they are more. They rely more on their instincts.
Instinct based.
Yes. Well, whereas I think the humans or the little people think too much. Sometimes overthink.
Exactly. This is actually, like I said, we read the book, you understand the two characters, you realize that wow, they're different from the human beings. Right. And therefore, in the book, the author very cleverly designed another two human characters, right?
Yes.
So one of them is Ham, right?
Yeah. So Ham is a character whereby he actually denies and resists changes because of his fear that by changing, things might turn even worse.
Okay.
So let's welcome our Mr. Ong.
Yep. Seng Ann啦，
Hello， 大家好。我叫陈安浩，华语版 ，OK。其实我真的在这本我是很少看书啦，或看到这本书，因为介绍嘛，
没有，你是书看你。
书看我看书的时候我就5分钟，然后我就跟他讲 hello， 眼睛都盖下来。不过因为有人介绍嘛，就看了，但是里面有一个角色哦 ，Ham 的角色哦。那我看的时候，哇，那个感觉蛮有的，因为以前就是这个书里面他就是讲哦，他是觉得他很怕改变，就是讲一般上我们读完书，对不对？读完书就出来上班，上班出去的时候你就有收入嘛，你就有收入的时候，你就会觉得讲，有收入你就 OK 嘛，有可以应付开销嘛 ，I think 这样就可以有一份收入，你就肯定可以做很久，因为你那个基很大嘛，你就有的吃，你就不会去想，你怕改变，只要你，我这样稳假逼稳啊，就是你平安安，就是什么去做一份工，老实去做一份工，那么你就可能拿到一份薪水，那么搞不好就是你就可以怎么样，以后你就拍拖结婚啊，生孩子啊，组织家庭啊，到你退休的时候，哇，你就可以去退休了，那时候就是感觉上。当时的想法就跟他这个人物有一点很接近，以为人生就是这样平平淡淡，可以这样子过了。不过因为这一次的疫情哦，哇，真的是有一点让我觉得那个故事里面的内容是，因为你怕改变嘛，环境的改变你没有去适应跟着改变的话哦，哇，那个心中很怕的嘞，很怕你会被淘汰，或者是被这个社会去没有办法在这个改变的过程中，当时的害怕 没有去改变的话，你可能跟不上节奏，可能你会被社会淘汰。这个是里面让我自己蛮有接受蛮有感觉的那个 feeling 啦。因为尤其是年纪越大的时候，当你吃到那个 cheese， 可能慢慢吃就越来越少的时候，你又没有改变，你又没有去学习，你又没有去做其他东西的话，万一那个 cheese 吃完了，就是故事里面讲的，他吃完了，那你怎么办？它是一个很大的问号哎。当你年纪再大，你不能再靠一些东西去体力或者是去赚更多的收入的时候，哇，那时候想起来真的有一点后怕哦。那这就是其实里面让我深有感觉的是，其实应该要去尝试走出来去学习，不可以不要像那个人物这样哦，不然走到有一天路走到尽头的时候哦，哇，那个时候你真的是看不到了，跨摩罗啊，这是真的是让我看到这个人物的，跟我的蛮接近啊，所以是这样子的。
心情有一样的感觉，对不对？
啊，
I think this what Seng Ann has shared already. I think recently when we read the newspaper, you actually still saw those articles about these hawkers. I think a lot of those older hawkers they are facing a lot of problems in terms of carrying on their business because of the rapid change, because of the pandemic, because of now I think a lot of F&B they are going into cashless payment, they are going into delivery, online presence. So I think when all this thing is too overwhelming for the older folks, so I think if they never really start early, I think there will come a time whereby they can never really catch up.
Yeah, of course. Actually, okay. Anyway, I represent How, all right. I represent How, who is actually the other human character. Just like what Seng Ann explained, all the human are compared to the mice, to the mouse, right? They are very slow to adapt one. Because, like I said, we are humans. It's very natural for us to, quickly develop our comfort zone. Very quickly develop our comfort zone. All right. In fact, we're going to talk about 5 key ideas about the book that's trying to advocate. Stanley will talk about it later, but I'm going to debate. We'll come back. Okay. But human beings are very easy to want to build their comfort zone, consolidate their comfort zone, and protect their comfort zone. And more often than not, we forgot that this comfort zone is slowly eroding for whatever reason. So like what Stanley had just said earlier, just for this pandemic, I'm sure this pandemic, if you don't know we have COVID, then I don't know which planet it come from. This is so long already. But like what Stanley was saying, this recent hidden phase, all right, the last 1 month, okay, now at least you all go out can eat for two person dining. But the last 1 month all cannot dine. So many hawkers, especially the older generation of hawkers, they experience as much as 90% drop in businesses. And they say they were so overwhelmed by this major setback because they did not expect it. They said that the previous circuit breaker, even though circuit breaker, my business never affect much, right? Still got people go and buy food, things like that. And then 1 year passed, all right. The just hidden alert. Suddenly they realize that, hey, how come so different? How come all the business hilang, all lost, never come back? All right. And then what I'm trying to say is that the reason is very simple. They forgot that over the last 1 year, most people have already developed the new habits of using GrabFood, Panda Food, Deliveroo to order food for their house. So they are already so used to it, they rather do it with their fingers than to use their leg to go and buy their food. And then therefore all hawkers, right, because they never actually wanted to really embrace new technology, or maybe because of fear, because they don't know how to, because they don't want to, they resist to change, whatever reason, okay? Nobody's fault, right? The thing is that it's so difficult to resist to change. It's so easy to resist change. Alright, so and eventually the whole event caught up with them. Alright, and then suddenly you realize that, hey, my business dropped by 90%. No? And then just only because they are not able to adapt to technologies, and then they still believe that people will still go to their stores and buy food from them. I understand a lot of these things. So in the character of How, I think what is interesting about How is that although he illustrates the common characteristics of a human being, but one thing he realized is that he actually tried. Okay, he tried to adapt. Once he realized that there is no going back really. If he don't try, he die. He will try to move forward. And then and eventually, actually, in the book you realize that because after he tried, he found a new pool of cheese. Right? And then not only the cheese is a bigger pool, it has more varieties of cheese that he previously has. This is just like our life, if you don't try, you'll forever be stuck with a diminishing pool of cheese and then only one kind of flavor. And then you eat until you finish, then you panic. But if you walk out and venture out, and then you may find a bigger pool of cheese, and then this cheese even comes in a wider variety. It means that there are a lot of unlimited possibilities in just our daily life. So really, I think looking back at these 4 characters, including How, especially, of course I identify How, because I realized that especially this pandemic, alright, it really is a timely reminder for us that, okay, you either be a sitting duck, alright, or if not, you have to be like the SCURRY mouse, or you must be a sniffy mouse. You don't have to be a sitting duck. Because you sit at home, eventually, the world will collapse upon you. And then you realize that you will be so paralyzed and you don't know what to do anymore. So I think when I read the book, I realized that, wow, this is such a good reminder for myself. And then especially, in fact, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you're 20 years old, or you're 30 years old, you're 40 years old. Alright? It's a time that we realize that the world is changing. We have to embrace the change, and we have to adapt to the change, and we have to grow with the change. And I think that is a very, very amazing message I get from this from this book. Right? Okay. Thank you for giving me a chance. Okay, yeah. What do you have to add now?
Yeah. Okay. I think hearing from HoeCheong that what the book is about, right? So let me quickly go through the 5 key lessons.
Oh yeah, the 5 key lessons.
The key ideas.
Maybe you should test our friends here. What are the 5 key ideas? They finished the chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3 already.
Yep.
So there are actually 5 key ideas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me quickly go through. So the first key
You don't
idea.
ask them to say. You should ask Jerell to say, hey, what's more
Jerell wants to give a try.
Let's go ahead.
Okay, so the first key idea is your cheese or success in life may be paralyzing you. Right?
Wow.
So I think this one we already spoken about it in our first episode.
Yeah, it's like the whatever success you have, you develop into a comfort zone, and then they actually disable you from moving forward. That's why it's paralyzing you.
Yeah, you're too comfortable with something and you're too accustomed to the environment that you refuse to get out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
Yeah. So the second key idea, which we actually covered in our last episode, is good situations never last forever. So be prepared.
Yep.
So this is about what just now our Sky Lau actually spoke about. It's called what? 居安思危. So while situation is still good, be prepared, have a plan B, and have a plan C.
Yeah. Plan D, whatever plan you have.
So,
as many as you can.
Correct. So the next key idea is key idea.
No, you should ask Jerell to do some work now. Yeah, based on the 2 videos, based on the 2 key points, he's supposed to call out to our viewers to to watch, right, our 2 last video, right? Yeah, Jerell, your chance now.
Call.
Call out our friends to watch the video 1 and 2.
Oh, hi, of course. Hey, I'm SNIFF.
Yeah.
All right. So for all those audience out there, if you're still with us in this show and you find that our show is interesting because we are talking about this book, Who Moved Our Cheese, and of course the 5 of us here, we are going to do it in the Singapore version, which is Who Moved Our Iron Rice Bowl. If you have sentiments about what we have been said so far, please go ahead and subscribe and like and share this particular program with your friends, because we welcome lots of comments, because I believe all of us here out in the public, we will fall into one of the 4 characters, SCURRY, a SNIFF, a ham, or a how. And like just now, what our character who is supposed to be identified with how is that during the second heightened alert, we talk about how come the older hawkers actually suffer more this time than the first circuit breaker. The simple reason is because a lot of the Singaporeans here have already gotten used or adapt to new technology of ordering food compared to the first time. So a lot more Singaporeans have become how instead of ham. And then the ham remains the ham, which is the hawkers, the old hawkers, and then they suffer. So, and then of course this book, even though it's very simple, it's easy to read, but it's very thought-provoking. And then it reflects a lot in life and how we should approach life. So please write in your comments, subscribe, and share. All right, so back to you, MC.
Right. So, welcome back. So, if we are
Third
joining
point.
us for the first time, we are doing this show called
Who Moved My Iron Rice Bowl?
Alright, so this show is actually presented by Axpier 1969, right? So this is inspired by this book, Who Moved My Cheese? And you have, this is our 3rd episode. So if you have missed our 1st and 2nd episode, please check out our comments. We have posted our links to the
First two videos.
So you can check it out over there.
Yep.
Right? So
Today is the 3rd point, right?
yeah, so the key idea is about
Visualizing your goals
helps you push through the fear that keeps you from
dealing with change. Wow, it's a very powerful, very wordy statement. Right? What it's trying to say is that you know, a lot of people when they deal with change, all right, because it's so many uncertainty. When you deal with change, there are so many things you are unfamiliar. You are treading into new frontier for yourself. So a lot of people, because of the unknown, it will create a lot of fear. You know, then the fear will actually make you, you know, not wanting to go and try to change. You see, and therefore, what the book is trying to say is that one way to help you to stay focused and be able to persevere through the change and overcoming the fear is you must be able to visualize your goals. You must have very clear and precise goals, and these goals must be something that will be able to remind you constantly, which is pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. So you think you want to ask our guest to first talk about something?
Right. So maybe let's invite Mr. Sky to say something about this this key idea number 3.
Yeah. Okay.
OK， 我有听过一句话这是一个我认识的朋友他说的，他说改变是痛苦的。那最近在这个 pandemic 因为我们从开始到现在已经是18个月了，在这18个月里面就好像刚才 Jerell 有讲的，很多东西都开始不一样。你尤其是我们的人类什么衣食住行嘛，都开始产生很大的变化跟不一样。那在这18个月里面我自己觉得我自己改变最大的一个东西是什么呢？就是学习如何买菜。你们是学怎么用 app download app 我是学习如何买菜。 我不晓得你会不会买菜啊？你先问你自己啊，你会不会买菜？买菜很简单，对不对？你就是去 shopping mall， 要不然你就是去 market 嘛，你就去买菜。那很多时候呢，我第一个概念在想的时候，就是说，我懂不懂怎么去分别菜的种类、鱼的种类、肉的种类，你会不会？这个就很考功夫了，对不对？
你今年几岁啊？
我50多啦。
50多才学买菜
这个就是重点啊。
对啊，这是重点啊，真的。
就好像现在你叫我儿子还是叫我女儿去买菜他们未必知道鸭、鸡的分别在哪里。
会吃啊？
会吃啊。因为现在年轻的一代他们吃的食物都是包好好的，然后要不然就是 cold storage 买好好的。你根本不可能看到原来的鸡啊、鸭啊，还是牛啊、羊啊长什么样子，根本不可能的。那我学买菜的第一个东西就是说，我妈妈因为 COVID 又老人家，然后她又喜欢煮，她就说，你去买菜，她就写了一张 list 给我，可是买回来呢，10样呢9样是不对。
为什么？
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 买芥兰，你知道在 NTUC 的芥兰有几种吗？
有中国的，有马来西亚的。
对，我买的那个芥兰不懂哪一个国的，回去他一看他就说不行，这个很苦的，你煮完就是很苦。我说怎么办？他说你这种什么银啊别呀
50多岁的人，
还是银
果金啊。
我去买安念给他抽到不同配。你知道安念有几种啊？
安念有那个 yellow 的，还有那个粉色的，还有小的。
对，purple 的还有跟不同国家来的。对吧？还有中国啦、印度啦什么的。我刚开始学这个真的是一个很大的课程每一次买完回去就给他鸟，每一次买完回去就给他鸟，每一次买完就给他鸟。第一个就是种类，你要分辨得出，你要认识到的。第二个是什么呢？就是价钱。我们去 NTUC 那里有看价钱的，看到拿了就走了嘛。
对，
贵一点啦。哎呦，回去他就讲什么嘞？你不会啦，你去那个5项买，那边比较便宜。你这个东西你就要去9项买。我说
买个菜都要环岛追啊！
我妈妈很熟啊。第二个就是价钱会不会杀价？你会不会看价钱？每次买完价钱不对是吗？回去一样又在被鸟。你们这种年轻人是么样？假币不在币他们每次都是讲这句的，到最后完蛋，到最后菜的种类啦，然后怎么选菜啦，新不新鲜啦，这些都要学，然后还要学怎么去哪里买到最便宜最好的菜。
对，这很考功夫。
最后呢，我学完了这个，已经花了我大概很多次了学了，我说我妈，你是不是毕业了？他说还没，你那3个只是基本功夫。那我说最重要的是什么？买菜。他说最重要就是你要知道我的孙子、你的儿子喜欢吃什么。
重点，
一样。
这个真的是一个学习的过程不过这整个给我很大的一个启发啦。就好像这本书也是一样，就好像那个人类也好，那个老鼠也好，在不同的环境一开始产生不一样的改变的时候那我们自己能不能改变？因为我觉得我最大的改变是什么？我已知我认为我自己知道的可是当我买了回来才发现我自己的认知是错误的嘞。这是西北恐吓轩的嘞。你要改变自己最大的痛苦是什么？你认为你懂你回去发现你竟然是不懂的嘞。你竟然是一个白痴你就觉得说你要重新的去学习，重新的去 adapt 自己，重新的改变自己的思维模式那个 SCURRY 就很好咯，他很快就可以change mindset，换他的思维模式，马上就去更新自己这个是我最喜欢的我还在尝试的 我要再尝试啊，不过已经熬过那一段。
所以现在已经知道去哪里买比较便宜，买哪一个才是正确的菜，对不对？好，所以这个改变有点痛苦，对不对？所以你知道他成功，如果他成功改变的话呢，你知道他的关键是谁吗？是什么吗？就是他妈妈。所以他有一个很 solid 的 goal 在那边，就是不要被妈妈骂。
他最喜欢的歌是听妈妈的话。
因为他买了回去被骂。买了回去被骂的时候，我一条条不要丢妈，不要丢妈，这个就什么忍辱负重，认真的把这个买菜过程学完，对不对？
是有饭吃，
感触
啊，也是啊，
我的更好笑，你知道吗？
真的吗？你们那个比啊？
他的是买菜哦，
啊，
我不是因为这个疫情的关系，我就待在家里。
呀。又不是只有你在家里 ，everybody 在home。
之前我就很少在家，因为工作或者出去外面很少在家。
OK，
他是学买菜啊，我是学家里的东西放。
哦，
哇，你真的很少在家哦。OK， 比如什么？讲来听看啊。
比如，假如我需要用。
哎，you want to speak English or speak Chinese?
If I need, okay, if let's say I need something, maybe a new clipper.
Yeah.
You can't find it. So last time you share, my wife.
Yeah. Where's the new clipper?
So now I'm at home. Sometimes I'm at home alone. So I need to find all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I will learn and remember where all these things are being placed.
I give you a solution. Don't buy 1 million clipper. Buy 5 million clipper. Put everywhere. If you don't understand what I mean, go back and watch this old movie called 英雄本色. Okay, so good, interesting. Okay, what about Jerell? Do you have anything to share? Because we want to talk about, we are just trying to talk about this key idea that the book is talking about.
Yeah.
Visualizing your goals help you to push through the fear that stems from the fact that you are trying to change.
Right.
So we're trying to say that, how can we make sure that we stick onto the path of change, we want to share some experience. Because I'm sure a lot of people have did something during these 18 months of pandemic, stay home, new normal, right? So it's something that we have to really go through, right? So whether good or no good is not important, right? But you must try, right?
Agree. So just like when I started and you introduced me, I am this character Sniff, and I identify very closely with this character Sniff. Just to remind everybody again, Sniff is this little mice in the character that always sniff out opportunity ahead of other people. And then the way I read this Sniff is that because probably this Sniff is a little bit unsecure, is a mix of everything, a little bit unsecure, and there's fear, and then always try to make sure that whatever he have today will not be diminished, and then because of this constant fear, Sniff is always like the name, sniffing out opportunity, just trying to maintain a status quo. If he can get something better than the status quo, and then of course it's better, because at the end of the day we're talking about cheese that, like what HoeCheong has mentioned, it can come with different variety, different flavor. You are willing to step out and adapt change. So the last 18 months, of course, we still come back to this big topic of pandemic, which is right now in the era of endemic already. All right, so it's going to stay with us for the next 3-4 years. So lots of changes, okay? And then what I have noticed is because actually this news is so amazing in such that since it started in January 2020, coming out from China, and then America, then of course hit Singapore. I don't think in the last 100 years there's one news that has hopped the headline for like 9 months or 10 months. And this is it, right? Because every country is reporting and...
So you think we are sway or we're lucky?
So because of this sway or lucky, I don't know. But then for me, there's so many news coming out. Of course, the early part of the pandemic is that you see and then you read that big corporations from America are saying that they are going bankrupt. Right? And then companies that everybody or every fresh graduate that wanted to join, okay, when the top 10 companies that they joined, also saying that, hey, we are not doing well right now, we need to downsize.
Yep.
All right?
Yep.
And then because of this, and then there is a change of habits, right? Because in one of the companies that benefited from this is this company called Zoom. Because it allow us to be able to hold meetings and see friends and etc. etc. And then of course it's free, right? And then being forced to stay at home, everybody start to use technology more, right? Just to keep yourself abreast, and also companies are changing their policy, etc. etc. And then of course our example just now also earlier about the hawkers who remains to be How, and then the rest of the Singapore population who choose to become Hem. All right, so because of these 18 months of change, I realized that I also cannot stay put because I am like SNIFF. I'm always one. Okay? So understanding this technology push is going to be the next revolution, right? So I am also learning how to manage the different platforms available, like the Facebook, you know, like doing Zoom, like hosting meeting with my customer, etc., etc. Using technology. Technology is going to be a part of my life because I think in the generation that we are, where we never go to the internet, probably we have this simple thinking or this thinking that's been passed down by our father or maybe our teacher is that, you know, you don't have to learn so much, so-called, yeah? But if you are able to graduate from a good school, you get a good degree, you get a good job, become a boss, you can hire all these people. I don't need to be good in math to do accounting. I don't need to be good in IT to manage my IT system. Right? I just become boss. Okay. But nowadays it's not like this because okay also now already. That is how I see that. So this is the changes for the last 18 months, and I feel that I'm so afraid to be 淘汰. The Chinese word 淘汰 because if we do not improve, we will always be disqualified from the rat race.
Yes.
So this is one thing that I've learned, and then I'm trying to adapt and adopt just like SNIFF, so that maybe with this new understanding of technology and how it is very close impacting our life, okay, I can also move forward, which also apply to career, you know, because my career in this particular industry is also, just like any other industry, is also being threatened by this pandemic. I honestly do not know how my industry can what do you call that, adapt, because it's a very traditional industry. Unlike, you know, when we hear all those companies that saying that, oh, we are going to be fintech, you know, we are going to be in the arena of big data analysis or cybersecurity. So a lot of companies, if you are not in the sunrise industry, you are in the sunset industry, you need to start thinking, oh, maybe I should learn something, or maybe I should upgrade something that has relevance with the so-called sunrise industry, just in case. So again, this feeling of mine, I identify very closely with this character, Steve, always seeking out for opportunity, aware of the surrounding.
Maybe I want to pick up from what Jerell just said. You know, based on what he said, I can identify with a lot of what he said. You know, especially I want to share with everybody that you know, I also hear this quote before, which is you know, your qualification is already the past. Okay, your financial power probably only represent the current situation.
Correct.
But what is going to define your future will be our ability to want to learn. Well, actually in Mandarin it means that 学历 you know 代表过去 you know, and then 财力代表现在。只有学习力才能改变你的未来。So honestly, I'm also quite happy with myself, you know, because when this COVID hit us 18 months ago, wow, you know, most of us wasn't really prepared, and then we don't even know what to expect, and then even at points we thought that, you know, it will go past very soon, very soon, just like any other crisis we've ever experienced before. Of course, then we slowly realized and come to terms that, wow, 1.5 years had gone already. In fact, I'm thinking that will it actually end any sooner? And then of course I'm not going to create another.
This is the 26th week of the year already. So it's the middle of the year.
Yeah.
So we are in the middle of 2021.
Yeah, and then I always tell people that wow, 2021 is already half a year past already.
Yes.
And then can you imagine one fine day when I'm looking back in history, I say, wow, the last 3 years, I've been spending time staying at home and then washing hands and looking for my nail clipper. Where's my nail clipper? Where's the nail clipper? You know, every day at home. But so therefore, I'm actually quite proud of myself because, you know, while the fact that I'm equally skeptical, you know, equally frightened, you know, about what's going to happen. You know, sometimes I think I really like how once you realize that things is not going to get any better, all the past is not going to come back, you have to move on. You know, you have to move on. I mean, really like how is in the book. Right, so actually, you know, I took out a few things. For example, I realized one thing in particular, social media. Like what Jerell said, Facebook. I mean, I'm always very amazed. I mean, for the past longest time, I realized that we always use Facebook like a toy. But actually, you can use Facebook as part of your strategy and tools for your business. Then you must learn how to do it. And then because of that, I register for a course called Photoshop. To improve on the pictures that we took, so that when we post, you know, it has better content and better quality. And even from Z, that one I took a course. Please remember, use your Skills Future Fund. Very good, I tell you, so good. I tell you, if you have never used it ever before, you should have at least $1,500.
Yes, must use.
You have never used before, you should have $1,500.
It's expiring 2025.
Or 2025. Better learn now. Don't wait until 2025. Okay.
Now it's already 2021.
Yeah. So I actually previously used one time for Photoshop. Wow, that one cost me 600 plus. But at least I've used 500 to offset. Pretty good. Right, and then during the last 18 months, I also self-learned, self-taught by going to YouTube, you know, watch all the videos. I learned how to edit. No, I know how to shoot and edit videos. From the very, very simple, you know, amateurish video. Now not bad already. I also think it's not bad. Sometimes I impress myself more. I'm amazed. So this is one thing that we really, and it all takes time. And then honestly, I'm also very frightened, you know, right? Because I have to navigate through all the softwares and to understand all the mechanics of the technology. It's really not that we are. It's just difficult. It's not so straightforward because you are going into unfamiliar grounds. You are treading into new territories. Something that they are not doing it every other day. So there is a lot of times you want to just give up, and then you say, I really don't need that. And you know, once you push through. Just saying that, I want to really master this, I really want to learn this so that I can produce my own better looking pictures, I can produce my better looking video. Wow, amazing, right? In fact, this afternoon I just registered another new course. In fact, originally I tell you how wonderful Skills Future Fund is. The original cost is $3,000. But because I'm a Singaporean and I'm over 40 years old, I get 90% subsidy. Correct. So I need to pay $354.75. I remember exactly. $355.75. And then I can use my Skills Future Club to claim. So I'm going for another course called entrepreneurial marketing. Entrepreneurial marketing in the digital age. Wow. See, must learn one. Okay. I believe, like what I said earlier, only the continuous lifetime learning will define or make our future a very different one.
Yeah.
Right. In fact, I think I want to add on one point is that I think learning something is not difficult, right? Because I think if you learn something, one new thing a day, each year there's 365 days a year. So in fact, if you spend one day to learn one new thing, after a year you actually learn 365 things.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Also one last thing, I think today I wear this suit because I purposely wear this suit because for the longest time I haven't been wearing proper pants and shirt already. So today I purposely wear this shirt, and then someone is now hot day summer so this is supposed to be summer, linen material, and then you know why? I will wear, you know why? I can put my hands in. Yeah, I'll show you. I can even keep my hands in. Previously, this pants a bit difficult for me, Yeah, so for the last 8 or 9 months, I also managed to lose about 10 kg.
Wow.
Must try to do exercises and must try to, watch out your
I
diet.
think it's something very different from what other people are doing.
Correct.
Everyone is putting on weight at home.
Yeah. In fact, what we're trying to say is that when we say visualizing a goal, the goals don't have to be very big goals. I want to be GM by the pandemic finished. I want to make 1 million by the pandemic finished. No. Some of them goals are all the things that will make our life better. And we must be willing to commit, therefore our life can be better.
Agree.
I think going on to the last part of the live streaming today, we need to ask Seng Ann to talk about what he has changed himself, right? And how easy or different it is for him, right?
Doing the best for the last.
Yes. All right, Seng Ann, please, thank you.
Hello， 这个18个月的疫情真的因为刚才我有分享到，就是 Ham 嘛 ，Ham 是怕改变的一个人嘛。那么因为长期以来就是认为如果你老老实实、平平安安，或者是顺顺利利做一份工作，你就可以到老。其实这是错的。这18个月来让我想法很不一样因为这18个月我记得是在4月多的时候就 lock 到了2个多月，是不能出门、不能上班，你就在家里的。哇，你什么都不能做。如果那时候你没有收入的话，请问这2个月你怎么去支撑你的家？那个就打醒了我有一些不同的想法。那么当然在18个月我学到一样东西，就是什么？以前科技对我来，我就是一个电器白痴啦，什么都不会啦，就是怕，因为它有 follow 1、2、3、4嘛。但是你跳的时候你就模糊掉吗？不见了，你就什么都很怕嘛，怕改变嘛。但是这18个月真的是有慢慢觉得，因为怕被社会淘汰，怕不能融入这个社会的时候，真的跟这个科技有扯上一点关系因为就孩子有跟孩子请教了一些比如怎么上网以前还电话费要去排队排很久原来我们手机有一个 app 可以直接还钱的呢，又不用排队，什么24小时你都可以做这个只要你银行有钱你就下去就可以了，哇，方便多了。另外一个就是什么？另外就是让我自己在会怎样去多认识。以前 Facebook 就是看哎呀，这是几米来你要了，搞。但是在这个18个月里面，有学一点Facebook Live 嘞。那么还有跟孩子做了2个那个 TikTok， 哇，其实我跟你讲他们叫我的时候我是，哎呀，你老破口不要啦，还写啦，因为要入年嘛，对不对？怕改变嘛。但是结果我才想，不然就翻嘛，好玩嘛，一家人在家别再出门，不能出门你就这样去搞了那一个音乐节，那个效果那个感觉还蛮不错。所以也就是让我觉得其实我们没有这么样恐惧我们其实要敢去接触一些我们以前不敢做的东西。那么你很怕的东西，当你会的时候，你就好像它就是一个东西，让你平时在什么生活当中你都可以有那个乐趣，加上你可以最重要是什么？那个目标最重要是什么？绝对不可以跟人家有很大的代沟，因为孩子要越来越有那个默契，不是很熟，但是绝对是可以谈得来很多话题的。所以这个也是让我觉得，这个改变这个目标让我觉得，小目标让自己有一个想要去做一些改变的东西，让自己跟那个人物真的要有一点点不一样。因为我听到一句话就是什么，当我们20多岁的时候，我们考上一个电单车，走到一个小巷的时候，有骑过电单车的人，对不对？跟转个弯，它就可以出来了嘛，对不对？死路嘛，你就转个弯就出来了嘛。但是你到30多岁的时候，你就好像一辆汽车，哇，你这汽车你走到的时候，你要关进去死路怎么办？你要推灯，3 point 灯才可以出来嘛，对不对？对。但是你到40、50岁的时候，你就好像一个大萝莉，哇，你要进去的时候 ，sorry， 你要出来，你要转不出来了，因为它已经是很大。所以当我们不要走到好像走到没有路的时候，绝境的时候，你才要去做改变。其实趁现在，这个疫情呢，我是觉得我有很大的一个收获，就是 让我可以尝试做我以前不敢做的东西，然后去接触。当然还有一点就是因为以前我都是要靠体力上班嘛，所以你每天下班的时候你就很累嘛，刚才是科技嘛，现在你很累了，你叫我进到，不要搞我，我情要睡觉。对。但是这个疫情呢，让我原来运动不一定要在外面的，你在家，你在门口，你在楼下，只要有一台手机，大家把那个手机打开 Zoom，或者是一个。大家就可以在不同的地区一起运动，
对，
哇，那个感觉还真的流汗的感觉真的是很爽，大家一定要去试试哦。
好，
所以这个是让我也觉得在这个过程中学到很多东西啦。所以我觉得很多让我自己有去改变，是让我整个人看起来也比较更年轻一点啊。其实我也不是很老嘛，对。哎，我的孩子都跟我拍肩膀，这样2个人去走街说：“你们是兄弟吗？”哇，那个跟你讲。有机会你试试那个感觉基本上我就觉得改变是一定必然的，改变是有一点痛苦，因为你开始你拒绝嘛，当你去做到你不敢做的时候，其实那个过后的那个感觉 feeling 是会，因为我很怕什么，我很怕跟社会脱节，所以我就一定要去把一些东西，不是学得很好，但是一定要去尝试把它做出来的时候。那个，我跟你讲，你尝试到那个，我对我来讲啊，我自己觉得那个跟孩子的代沟也少了很多，跟很多人沟通，跟年轻人沟通的时候，你也能有很多的话题，这个就是让我们生活有更加的一点不要感觉讲年纪大人就是不好，而是越来越多姿多彩了，而且经验可以跟大家去分享，所以我觉得那个是蛮我喜欢的东西咯，这是我的分享，对。
Thank you so much.
Well, I think Seng Ann has actually shared a very good point there about changing as soon as possible. Wherever you can, you make the effort to so-called adopt new things. I think that is something which is very important to everyone. I think including myself. So it's like don't wait until it's too late. Yeah. So. Even though changes can be sometimes a bit fearful, right, because of the unknown, but I think once you actually focus on what you want to achieve and what you really want as an end goal, is focus on that, take small steps, take small constructive steps, and moving towards the direction. Like I think someone said before, as long as you move in the right direction, right, your one day you will reach the destination eventually. It's a matter of time.
Of course. Thank you. Wow, you already make a lot of changes already. You probably not in this pandemic. You not only learn how to find new people, you also speak more than your usual time. In fact, it's true. No, we are so happy for Stanley. You know why? We purposely asked him to join us to be MC for this live streaming. He's so quiet every time. Every time we squeeze words out of him, it's like wow, it's like squeeze blood out of stone. So at least now he's trying so hard. He's really the example of what we're talking about. Visualizing your goals will help you to deal with the fear. That created out of the changes. Yeah, correct enough. I think you like to do live with us, correct enough?
Yeah.
So that was the major goal, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you like to do live with us, right?
Yeah, make me happy also.
Yeah. Of course, the most important is because you realize that you can really improve yourself. Self-improvement.
I think once we overcome our fear in things that we never tried before, and you look back, sometimes you'll be amazed by yourself.
Of course, yeah.
Agree.
Yeah. So any last words, gentlemen?
The last word is really make your goal, visualize it, and make it bigger than your fear. Then you have no fear. Right? And then we can with our little milestone of goals. Yeah.
It's like if your tummy is bigger than anything else, you cannot see your legs anymore. In order, then obviously you cannot make your feet bigger, right? Then you better make your tummy smaller. But in this case, we must make our goals bigger and clearer. then we'll stick out to our direction, right? Okay, so learn how to buy vegetable, learn how to find your new people, or learn how to use TikTok, okay, or learn a new skill. I think that is a very amazing thing, right?
Yeah.
Learn to slim down.
Yeah, if not, you can at least slim down.
Yeah.
Yes, slim down is very important now, okay? Alright, so thank you for your time, right?
Thank you, everyone.
Alright, so I hope you enjoy our show. If you really like what we're talking about, this is our Singapore version of
Who Moved My Iron
Bowl. So we'll see you next time soon, right? Okay, see you soon. Bye bye.